Let me tell you a story about a time when procrastination nearly broke me. 1 year ago, a gas line was struck in our neighborhood, causing an explosion that damaged several homes nearby, including ours. Our already hectic lives just became even more hectic as we now had to deal with insurance and figure out how to repair the damage. But I didn't want to deal with that. I didn't ask for this event to happen to us, and I definitely didn't want to face the disruption and stress it was going to bring into our lives. So, I procrastinated. I stuffed away all the insurance paperwork. Out of sight, out of mind, right? I avoided the rooms that had the most damage. I ignored the phone calls from the insurance and took my sweet time getting back to them. I just couldn't handle the stress of it all. It made me sick to the point where I wasn't sleeping. And the funny thing about it is that I put in so many attempts to avoid it, yet it was still front and center in my mind every day. 7 months passed and I still hadn't done a thing. And then I got a letter from the insurance company saying I only had about a year and a half before they would no longer cover it. I realized I couldn't procrastinate anymore because it was going to cost us money. So we finally made the calls that we needed to, and we took care of it. We had to move out of our home for a few weeks while they fixed it, and then when we moved back in, all of our walls and ceilings were fixed. Our furniture was back, and it was like it had never happened at all. And now, it's just a memory, a thing of the past. But you know what those 7 months of procrastination did to me? I woke up every day with butterflies, and not the good kind, the kind that make you feel nauseous. I turned to junk food to cope with the stress, binge eating my way through it, and ended up gaining about 15 pounds in just a few months. This all happened right after I spent 6 months losing that exact weight, and now it was all just right back in 3 months. It affected everything. My health, my mental well-being, my sleep. I couldn't sleep at night unless the TV was on to distract my mind, and even then I'd wake up at 3 a.m. thinking about it. I could have handled it right away, just like my neighbors did, but instead, I avoided it. And I avoided it for so long that it only made everything worse. And now that it's all over with, I feel nothing. I don't have to wake up each morning sick to my stomach anymore. It's finally done. But why did I let it drag on for so long? Why make it harder on myself? Procrastination doesn't just hold us back. It turns everything into a bigger struggle than it has to be. It literally makes us sick. So why do we do it? Well, for many different reasons. In my situation, it was fear. I was afraid of having to pack up and leave my home. Maybe you procrastinate because you're worried you won't be able to finish the job or that you don't have enough time to make it perfect. Or some of us may procrastinate because we're just waiting for motivation to hit. We don't feel like it. Or maybe the job is just too awful, like cleaning the oven. What a horrible way to spend an hour. I can think of about 1,000,000 things I'd rather do than clean the oven. Untangle a slinky, drink a tuna mushroom milkshake, eat olives off my fake olive tree. Another reason we may procrastinate is because we just don't know where to start. The job is too big. All of these reasons are valid, but we've got to stop allowing these feelings to control us. Fear, perfectionism, lack of motivation, they are not in control. It's just a feeling. You are the one in control here. These feelings only have as much power as you give them. So today, we're taking that power back. You hear me? I'm the boss now. Fear. You listening, fear? Okay, I'm going to need to get to the point before I lose you guys. So here it is. The only way to quit procrastinating is by doing something really simple. It's not about magically eliminating fear or lack of motivation, because that's literally impossible. It's about making a choice to take action despite the way you feel, and it all starts with a timer. Timers are powerful. I can't preach this enough. There is so much power in this little ticking device, and all you need to do is set it for 5 minutes. When you're faced with a job you don't want to do, something that scares you or feels overwhelming, just grab your timer and set it for 5 minutes. And when those 5 minutes are up, you can stop guilt-free. You don't have to, but you can. You make the rules, not your feelings. But you may be asking, why would 5 minutes even matter? That's like nothing. Well, because it gets you to start. You think you're afraid of the task? No, I disagree. I think you're more afraid of getting started because getting started is the hardest part. But once you take that first step, the biggest obstacle is already out of the way. I used to always wait for motivation to come before I got to cleaning. I'd say, I don't feel like it. Maybe I'll feel like it tomorrow. But the truth is, how often do we actually ever really feel like cleaning? I mean, maybe once in a while. Nope, pretty much never for me. So we have to stop waiting for motivation and just choose to get up and do it. Start small. It's like when you're staring at that big giant mountain of laundry. You might think, there's no way I can finish this today. But if you just pick up one shirt, just one, that's a start. It's all about that first tiny, almost insignificant step. Because once you start, you're halfway there. And that's where the timer comes in. Just set it for 5 minutes. That's it. You're telling yourself that you only have to focus for 5 minutes. You're not committing to a huge cleaning session or hours of work. You're just telling your brain, I can do anything for only 5 minutes. The true magic happens when you start. And you know what? More often than not, once that timer goes off, you won't want to stop. You'll feel that momentum and suddenly 5 minutes turns into 15 minutes, and before you know it, you've made real progress. You've taken that first step and it's no longer as scary as it seemed before. Now, you might still face moments where you don't feel like it, but at least you've gotten through the hardest part. You started. You've beaten procrastination in just those first few minutes, and everything else becomes easier from there. So you know what? We're gonna do it today, together. What are you procrastinating on? What's the one thing that makes your stomach turn just thinking about it? Let's get started on that thing right here, right now. I'll be your timer. You don't even need to set one today. What do you say? Are you in? Come on. Yeah, you want to get off the couch. What else are you going to do today? Okay, you might as well. And you know what? Who knows when you're going to get another chance to do this with me? It's now or never. So let's do it. All right. I'm setting the timer. You see this? No going back. And hey, you know what? I'll do it with you. Yeah. Why the heck not? I know there's something. Maybe it's the bills that need to be paid. Maybe the bathroom needs cleaning. Or maybe there's been an explosion next door and you need to call the insurance. Whatever it may be, let's just do it. After these 5 minutes, you can choose whether or not you want to continue. It's up to you. Sometimes after getting started, you'll find that you don't want to stop. Maybe these 5 minutes will give you the energy you need to keep going. Or maybe not. That's okay too. If you stop in 5 minutes, then at least you got 5 minutes of it done. And I'd call that a win. As some of you may already know, I created a cleaning routine recently that revolves around the use of a timer. I honestly believe they are the key to keeping a clean home. So many tasks around the house are avoided because of fear. Timers erase that fear. When you set a timer, you're no longer thinking about the entire job. Instead, you're focused on how much you can get done in your set time, which makes you move quickly, like a snail on a motorcycle. The snail didn't have a lot of confidence in its ability to move fast until it had a little help from the motorcycle, or timer. Oh, okay, that's a horrible example. And now I'm imagining a snail wearing a leather jacket. But this is the magic of a timer. It turns an intimidating "I can't" into a doable "I'll try." Whether it's 5 minutes, 10 minutes, or even just 2, once you press start, you'll find it easier to keep going because you got past the biggest hurdle, getting started. Which by now, I hope you did get started. If I can do it, you can do it. I remember this one time when I was procrastinating cleaning my porch. It was so bad that I had been avoiding it for 2 months. I didn't even go in there. I finally just gave in and decided to clean it. And that's when I found it. A 2-month-old sippy cup that previously had milk in it. Do you know what milk looks like when you leave it for 2 months? You don't want to know. I threw that whole thing out. Sometimes the best way to clean something is to buy a new one, and this is one of those times. Tell me in the comments some of your grossest cleaning stories. When you have kids, you find food in the most random places, especially if you let them eat snacks on the couch. Then beware of what you will find when it's time to clean out those couches. I stopped letting my kids eat on the couches after I got new ones because they destroyed the old ones. So while you're cleaning or tackling whatever you're working on, let me remind you, this isn't about perfection. If you're cleaning out your fridge, don't feel like you have to go all in, taking out every single item and scrubbing each bottle like it's about to go on display in a museum. No one's got time for that. Instead, just focus on one shelf at a time. Take the food off just that shelf, give it a quick wipe, and move on. This is about making progress, not stressing over having the perfect finish. Remember that the goal is to get as much done as you can in the time you've set. You don't have to finish everything, just enough to feel like you're moving forward. Even small steps make a big difference. And if you can remind yourself of that on repeat, then maybe, just maybe, you'll start to see how much you can get done. The thing is, we only have so much energy in a day, and we get to decide how we divvy it up. So if you plan to cook a big dinner tonight, but subsequently spend 3 hours cleaning your kitchen in the morning, well, there's a good chance you're not going to have enough energy to make your big dinner. You're going to be exhausted and probably very grumpy. So we have to limit the amount of time that we spend cleaning by breaking it up. Clean the oven 1 week, focus on the fridge the next, and then clean the microwave another week. That way, the other parts of the house won't get ignored because all of your energy went into the kitchen. That's the beauty of breaking it up into smaller tasks. You're giving yourself space to breathe while still getting stuff done. It's like exercising. No one goes from 0 to running a marathon in a day, as much as we like to think we could. But with a few jogs each week, you'll get there eventually. It's all about consistency. Speaking of consistency, did you know that if you consistently eat ice cream every day for 3 months, you will consistently gain weight? Being 30 is no fun. When I was 25, I could eat all the ice cream I wanted and still stay thin. Those were the days. What a difference 5 years and 2 kids will make. And you know, those low-calorie ice creams aren't as good. Half of them aren't even real ice cream. I've read the fine print. I know when I'm having ice milk. Anyway, of course I find a way to talk about ice cream in these Clean With Me videos. I swear I always film when I'm hungry. Okay, time's up. It's up to you now if you want to keep going. You can stop if you want. You have that right. You only promised yourself 5 minutes, no more. But if you have some good momentum going here, then feel free to keep going. Either way, I'm proud of you because you took action. You didn't let fear or procrastination hold you back. Whether you kept going or stopped, you made progress, and that's what matters. Now, speaking of progress, did you know that there's only 2 habits you need to keep your kitchen clean every day? No? Well, by golly, you better click right here. I'm about to drop some cleaning wisdom that'll change your life. Or at least your kitchen. I'll see you there.